Hello, welcome back to a new 7 Days podcast. I'm your host, Eric,
And I'm Joshua.
and we are talking about episode 3 of the English dub of The World Ends With
Yes.
You, the animation. A lot of those.
Yes. Honestly, though, my thoughts on this episode haven't really changed much, really.
It didn't age well.
Like, how so?
Like, looking back, like, for one, like, the music just feels all over the place. Um, and, like, there's two fight scenes, and neither one of the fight scenes really feel consequential.
I mean, I will agree with you there. That was one of the problems that I had when the episode first came out originally. But
And this is really a whole thing for the series. But I think this episode, especially like the first one, where it really just feels bad, where it's like they're fighting these things, and these fights are supposed to be heard, and you see them struggle, except like they never once really get hit.
yeah, I mean, also I think it just has to do with the pacing of the fights and that they only take like up about a minute or two and then they're over.
Yeah, and also just like the game moving week or day 4 to day 6 really hurts the build up because Hanekoma takes beat on day 4, and you don't hear anything about beat until day 7. So you have time to question, like, what did Hanekoma do? Where is beat? Is beat even still alive?
Yeah, I think it's fine, honestly, in my opinion. But I mean, just judging the show as a show, I think it's fine.
I just feel like the pacing of the show and this first week specifically
I
is
mean,
just
the pacing overall is definitely a problem, really.
yeah, like they
But
really
like
did
some
want to get
episode,
through.
there are some episodes that are better paced than others, but the pacing as like an overall thing is definitely a problem with this show.
Yeah. Well, the first week specifically, they really just wanted to get to week 2 and 3 because that is where the exciting stuff happens. But it's a
Hmm.
shame because a lot of like the best character development for Shiki, obviously, and even for Neku, does take place during week 1. And so, well, let's go over the whole episode because this is more towards the end that we have this problem. So the episode starts.
Just give a brief summary. We don't need to go through it all again. We
Yeah, I was just
watched
gonna
the movie.
go like, yeah,
Just give the
watch the
brief.
original. Yeah, so like I'm trying to think of where it starts. It starts like halfway through where day 4 of the game normally would be. They're like, "Hey, we got a mission. We have to go to Tower Records. We have no time limit. Let's just walk over there." Beat says, "Hey, let's race." They go race. Rhyme dies uh, by a shark. Beat gets mad
Uh,
at the Reapers. Hanekoma saves him. Neku and Shiki fight that. Then it's day 7. They go fight the GM. They beat the GM. And then they're like, "Oh, sorry, only one person gets to live."
And then Neku does the game for a second time, and Shiki is taken away.
Yeah. And so like we get to this point where it's like Shiki's like, "I don't want to be the one to go back to life. Like, give it to Neku. Neku deserves this more than me." And she lists off all the reasons why Neku deserves it more. And it's like, we haven't really seen him do it.
I mean, kind of, but kind of not. I do agree.
Like, she's like, the first day he pushed everyone away, including me. It's like, in the game, we see that clearly. He doesn't even call her by her name. He calls her Stalker the whole time and will just walk away. And here it's like, he just doesn't know how to talk to them. And so he's just kind of quiet around them.
And again, I'm pretty sure that just has to do with the characterization thing that we brought up earlier as well. But, anyways, just looking at it as a show, I think this episode overall is probably a bit below average, I think, just because it has two big fight scenes, and those fight scenes are probably the worst paced thing in the show. Um,
Yeah, the music during the
but
shark fight was dumb. It was ominous music, but it's like, no, we already know what the threat is at this point. The ominous
mhm.
music would have been when Ryan was killed, not while Neku and Chiki are actively fighting it.
The music during the GM fight was pretty good, I think, or at
During
least
the
fit
second
in.
half, yeah.
Yeah,
First half, yeah.
yeah. I mean, otherwise, other than just like a few things that they had to do for like translation purposes, which come off a bit clunky. It
Yeah.
was overall pretty good.
Yeah. That's just like I don't want to beat it too hard because I beat it really hard last time. Like just as a show, it's like the pacing was bad, and then they try to give this emotional moment of Shiki saying that she doesn't want a second chance of life if it means Neku can't. And like the reasons why for like how bad he was when he started don't really ring true. And all the great things that he supposedly did that showed his redemption don't really ring true. It's like, no, he kind of like started like somewhere in the middle there and like slightly improved
I
versus this
mean,
like huge change that she's describing.
I will agree that the buildup isn't quite there, but I will say that there is enough scenes that you can get a feeling of what it's going for. But
Yeah. It just doesn't have
I
the
mean,
impact. You get what they're going for, but like you don't care.
yeah, I mean, and like this would be if you had like I think mostly like for the most part these game adaptations are mostly meant for like people who have played the games before and whatnot. So like,
And yet those are the people they always disappoint the most.
well, you can't expect like a one-to-one adaptation. I am gonna just tell you that now. But
Yeah, I know.
um
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
like
yeah.
also we haven't talked about Hanakoma because we got more of his voice now because we didn't get a whole lot of it last time. Not big on the Hanakoma voice, not gonna lie.
I don't think it's too bad.
I don't know why. It just reminds me of like
I'm not the biggest fan of it, I'll say, but I think it works.
it reminds me of like Dr. Light in like the Mega Man anime where it's like Dr. Why we gotta stop Dr. No, it wasn't the anime. That was X8.
I don't know. Probably one of. I think the original Mega Man games had like those anime cutscenes later on as well, but I don't know.
I don't know. It's reminded me of the doc. Like I don't know why it reminded me of Doctor Wywee because it was nothing that heinous. There was just something about it that reminded me of like Doctor Wywee. It's like no.
Yeah, I don't know. Couldn't be X though, because Dr. Wily isn't in those games.
Oh yeah, Light isn't in those games either. You're right. It wouldn't be X. Which
Hmm.
games had the anime cutscenes then?
Later X games, I think, did like the ones that were like PlayStation ones,
Yeah, but they
like
wouldn't have
7 and
that
8, I
cutscene that I was
believe.
thinking of. But they wouldn't have that cutscene. What would Doctor Wywee be? I don't know. Anyways,
Yeah.
unimportant. Um, Mega Man 8. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't big on this episode, even like trying not to compare it to the game just as it is. Like I just don't think there was enough time to build up what they were trying to do. So like the payoff isn't great.
Hmm.
Um that's the thing. Like I think week 2 definitely gets 1,000 times better. Week 3 kind of starts to fall back, but like it's still pretty good. Week 1, I just feel like they really just wanted to get it over with. And
Also, didn't you say in part week three's pacing is weird because week three is itself pacing was weird in the game?
well, yes and no. Week 3's pacing is kind of weird, but it's more so just because like they they dropped the mission structure,
Hmm.
and so like it's just hard to remember the order of things because it's not like I'm remembering a specific mission. It's like, oh, which path did you go down again? Like, did you walk down to Cat Street? No, that you didn't walk down to Cat Street till day 6, I think. And then it's like, oh, did you walk down to Utagawa? No, Utagawa wasn't until like day 4. What was it? Day 5? Like, that's why week 3 gets weird. Is because you just have to like, there's no like specific mission on those
Got
days.
it.
But yeah, that's my thing. I don't know. I think the pacing. I feel like if they could have gone away with it, they would have done week 1 in a single episode.
I don't think there was enough of the game left to do week two and three in like 11 episodes.
I mean, well, that'd be what 14 days. They could have. This not they probably could have. if they made the days longer. But like that's what I mean. Is like I don't think it's feasible to have done week one in one episode. But I feel like if they could have gone away with it, they probably would have if it was feasible to do.
I don't think they would have, just because it's necessary for setup for week 2.
Yeah, but they really did just want to get to week 2. Like this episode really does feel like we just want to move on. Here's what you need. Rhyme dies, Shiki's entry fee. Done. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they did well though, episode 2. So
2 is good. 2 is probably the best episode of week 1.
yeah.
No, it is the best episode of week 1. That's not
Yeah.
hard to do.
Mhm.
But yeah, like 1 just feels weird because like they set up stuff that then doesn't really get paid off. And then 3 feels weird because they try to pay off on stuff that they didn't set up. 2 is like the only good one because it's like they just let it be essentially. Like we're not going to try to do any big payoffs, and we're not going to try to set up anything that won't be fulfilled later. It's like it's its own kind of like self-contained episode.
Wait, what are you in reference of, like setups that they don't pay off in week 1?
Like small things like the technician thing. Where it's like
I think you're just a bit too hung up on that technician thing. I really didn't think of
it was
anything
weird. Why would they make him a Reaper and then like just he never shows up again? Or like, you know, the possession, noise possession, or I don't know off the top of my head. There's a lot of stuff that they did weird. Where they just like set up something and then just like ignored it. It's like what?
Really, I think they were just small things. I didn't really care about it. And that's coming as a person who just watched the anime. So, I really think you're just letting your game bias cloud you still.
No, okay. If the technician they made a Reaper and then there's like one fight scene in week 3, then it'd be like, okay. So they paid up, but it's like, why even show that he was a Reaper for him to never show up again? And yet we know week 3, all of the Reapers were on the hunt for Neku and Beat and tried to kill them. And the technician's nowhere to be seen. It's like 777 returns and tries to beat them. Why not just like make that a double fight?
I don't know. Didn't they practically say at that point, though, that the rest of his band was already wiped out?
We don't see the technician get wiped out, and technically he wasn't part of the band. He was just like the stagehand at the concert venue.
Okay, still safe to assume it's kind of a group thing.
I don't know. I thought that was weird. I just thought that was weird. Like same thing with like the whole thing. Like they call out like he's angry and that anger is going to eat him up. Like he's going to burn out real quick. And then he's like, I'm angry and fire slams. And then that never comes up again. It's like, why bring up that if it never comes up again?
I think it's just to get across some of the concepts of the game without having to say concepts from the game.
It just felt weird. It's just like, why tell us this if it doesn't come up?
Honestly, they're quite small things, really. You just focus on it a bit too much, I think.
Well, I think looking back, I'll say about the noise possession thing that it was their excuse to not have to deal with, like they wanted to brush, like get through week 2 or week 1, and the noise possession thing was, or like the big thing about week 1 was like he tried to kill Shiki and now he has to become a better person. And in here they could just say, oh, it wasn't Neku's fault. The noise possessed him. It's fine, forgive him. And like that's what I really think it was there for, but it still just feels weird. Like that was lazy storytelling, and it was just weird.
Okay, I won't agree with the noise possession thing, but still, I think you focus way too much on that technician thing.
I don't think the technician's that big of a deal. It's again, he wasn't a Reaper, then they made him a Reaper, but then he never shows up again. And it's like, if the game didn't end the way it ends, I'd be fine with the technician not showing up again. The game ends with all the Reapers on a manhunt, and we see all of the Reapers that we met, except for him. And we don't see what happened to him. Like, we don't see him get erased by Taboo or anything. He's just not there.
Yeah, I just chalk it up to him being erased with the band, but whatever.
But we see the band get erased. We don't see him. Anyways, whatever. Let's get the sequel reports, I guess, because I got nothing. I'm not a big fan of the Hanakoma voice actor. I don't know. I'm sure we can go more in depth in Joshua Week about why, especially because we haven't heard Joshua yet.
What do you mean? We heard him laugh.
We heard a huh. Oh yeah, that huh was such a telling.
No, I know. I know it's not really much of a telling. I'm just joking.
Kitanaji was good. I like the Kitaniji voice. Neki's voice
Really,
still
really, Kitanichi was really getting on my nerves this episode for the voice acting for it.
that's what he sounded like in the game. Like, it's a pretty close fit.
I don't know. It just felt off to me, but I don't know.
I don't believe it's the same voice actor, but whoever they got, he's like matching it pretty well. Because in the game, you didn't hear like full sentences; you would hear single lines. But like trying to imagine what a full line, like full sentences would say based off the single lines, I think he's as close as if they had gotten the original guy back. He does a great job of just sounding like him.
I don't know. We differ though on our opinions on that, but whatever.
Because I'm listening, like looking at it from like, do they sound like they did in the game? And if they don't sound like they did in the game, do they at least still sound decent and fit the character? Hanekoma does neither.
And I'm
Kitadiji
comparing it
sounds
to
like
I'm comparing it to the Japanese. So
yeah, I'm comparing it to the English dub of the game. So that's my thought of like, does it sound as close to the game as possible? If not, does it at least fit? Hanekoma didn't fit. Kitaniji sounds
I think
like
Hanekoma fits. I think Kitaniji fits less.
Hanekoma doesn't he doesn't sound like he did in the Japanese, and he doesn't sound like he does in the English.
He sounds kind of close to what he sounds in the Japanese. Not as deep, but he sounds pretty close. He's got that. He's got like the dialect type thing.
Yeah, no, I guess I need to hear more and also brush up on terminology to explain, because I don't know how to explain what I find weird about him. His voice is something. Yeah.
All right.
Battles were bad. Music was okay sometimes, but not great most of the time.
I mean, it's like episode 2's weird thing where they put the music in halfway through the battle for some reason.
Which changing music during a battle is not a bad thing, but when there's like no music, or at least like music that's not even like noticeable, it's like, well, okay, that's weird.
Yeah.
But let's get to the SIG reports. We're actually doing day 4 and day 7 of the first week because
that's what they adapted.
Yeah, even though they say day 6, it was day 4 of the game that they actually show.
Which I think we explained this last time, so we can just keep it at that. All right. Anyways, day 4, Secret Report 4. The UG exists as a separate plane where the composer can judge the worth of men. Within it are reapers and human players. It is feasible for the composer to judge all of humanity by himself, so a filtering system utilizing the reapers was created, the Reapers game. Reapers act as a test, weeding out unfit players. Upon becoming a Reaper, one's physical body changes, gaining incredible strength and an extended lifespan. As Reaper and player alike progress through the game, engaging in imagination-driven combat, their soul is refined. Soul is abstract matter revealed through our research into life and death, and a component in the makeup of the atmosphere, humans' will, thought, all phenomena. As Reapers execute the game, they undergo a process of evolution from drones to officers to the composer. However, Reapers that follow the ideal route are rare and most are erased by players. Reaper or player, those erased within the game, disperse the mind and spirit housed within their flesh in the form of soul. Thus, they are erased only from a visible existence. Their soul persists in the UG until gathered and tied together according to a new code. This new code, essentially, imagination. Given sufficient imagination, any form is possible, be it a pin or reaper. Variations in this code cause the soul to manifest in different forms. In other words, humans, reapers, and noise are all entities formed of soul. The only difference is their code. And what are noise? Entities without conscious will or only the drive to multiply. Thus, they constantly thirst for soul, attacking players and possessing humans in the real ground. Soul consumed by noise is destroyed, even if the noise is erased. Thus, possessed humans often exhibit a rush of euphoria immediately after the noise is removed. Though untested, the same would likely hold were a player or reaper possessed.
Yeah, we don't see noise possess a player, at least not in the original game.
Mm-hmm.
Just putting that out there.
Or
even
reapers.
the secret reports call it. Even the secret reports call it to attention. Just saying. Anyways,
it just says though untested. I mean, basically, it means the same effect happens if you get rid of noise from not humans, players or reapers.
Yeah. But yeah, so we get to see what the soul is like. Because I think early on he mentioned soul. Let's see, which day was it? They mentioned soul. Oh yeah, day 2. He describes Neku's soul as unstable.
Mm-hmm.
So we also learned a little bit about what the game is and the purpose of the game. So soul being abstract matter that has some type of code, and that code, which is imagination, determines what that abstract matter forms into.
Mm-hmm.
And we also see what the process is of
Reaper evolution.
Reaper evolution, and how a soul is changed and refined. Because the code is essentially imagination, they're able to use their imagination in imagination-driven combat, the stronger the imagination grows, and thus they can grow higher.
Mm-hmm. And do those form change things like what is it, like the officers can do?
Yeah, so there was a theory, and this actually might be where that theory came from, that the smaller the Reaper's wings were, the more powerful they are. It's like wing size is inversely proportional to the strength. Because officers don't have wings, but like Yuzuki has bigger wings than Korea, and Korea has more bigger wings than the officers, obviously. I think it's been proven that through Neo and through the show that theory is kind of
false.
Bust. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know where that theory came from. I didn't necessarily believe it, but there is something to it because the officers don't have wings. At least they can hide their wings even in the UG. All Reapers hide their wings in the OG, but then when they're in the UG, we only do see like the grunts, like Korea and Yuzuki, manifesting wings, and the officers don't. So there's that. Also, what was the purpose of it? It was the composer was too busy to actually, judge the worth of people. So he's like,
yeah,
I'm just gonna set up a game where I allow them to resurrect people, because why not?
But only one, just because it gets too much of a hassle if you revive too many at once.
Actually, I believe we'll see that in day 7. That's not necessarily the case.
Okay.
Remember, the composer has been missing before Neku entered the UG.
True. It's under Kitaniji rules, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, it's under Kitaniji. He just has to lie through his teeth. um, but yeah, so why does the game even exist? The game is to filter out weak people that are unfit and to either give people a second chance. And I think later on it'll be explained what that second chance is meant for, or for the soul to evolve um, through the use of the imagination.
Mhm.
Also, with given sufficient imagination, any form is possible, be it a pin or a reaper. Spoilers for the show if you haven't watched our first time talking through it. But in the show, we just see rhyme as a noise. In the game, we see rhyme as a pin that Beat partners with. And then he can't summon the noise out of the pin. And that's why he chooses to become a reaper. Is so that way he can then summon the noise because he doesn't have the imagination to call it out.
Mm.
So, because I think it also said reapers get more powers, they get stronger and get longer lifespans. So,
Yeah. Although they kind of just forgo the pin entirely in the anime.
yeah, they forgo the pin. They just give them. Well, they forgo noise. Forgo rhyme being in week 2.
Yeah.
Like we see, they got again. This is one of the things that the show didn't have time to build up. Was we see Beat looking at the pin, frustrated before he goes and talks to the Reapers, and then he goes and
Mhm.
talks to the Reapers and asks them specifically about how do I summon the noise from this pin. And then we see the noise on his shoulder all of week 2, and in the show, like there's just nothing. There's nothing, and then week 3, just boom, noise. By the way, this is rhyme. It's like what? There's no build up there. Um,
I mean, Beat did have the rhyme pendant, but I
yeah, but
think
that
there
was
was a
also
few
in,
dialogue choices that kind of hint at it, but I might be misremembering.
well, the rhyme pendant was also in the game as well, with the rhyme noise. I mean, the rhyme noise wasn't wearing the rhyme pendant, but like Beat did
No,
drop
I
the
got
rhyme
it.
pendant, and yeah. Um, humans, reapers, blah blah blah. Only difference is the code. Yeah, soul consumed by noise is destroyed, even if the noise is erased. This one has confused me and still kind of confuses me because Honeycomb was able to gather Rhyme's soul, but Rhyme was consumed by noise.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how he did that.
Yeah, yeah, that's a little weird.
Yeah, that's the one thing that gets me. I'm like, how did he? Unless because we still haven't been Neo, we still haven't seen Rhyme in Neo. Unless like there's some reveal in Neo that like, oh, the Rhyme that we see is not the original Rhyme.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, unless there's no like, if there isn't an explanation in Neo, then that line should probably be disregarded.
Yeah, because soul consumed by noise is destroyed, even if the noise is erased. Yeah, they erased the Shirk noise.
Yeah,
Rhyme would
exactly.
still be dead.
Yeah, I'm like that secret report is kind of broken by the game itself. So
Yeah, that one I will admit. This one is not. Actually, this is like the first real inconsistency I've seen with the secret reports. I don't think I can think of another inconsistency, but this one line.
I think there was like maybe a small inconsistency in one of the other ones that we read earlier, but it was like just a small one that could potentially be explained away, I think. But I might be
Yeah,
misremembering.
this one I don't know how you explain that one away.
Yeah, yeah, no, there's really no explanation for that one. That
Yeah,
one kind of like just really contradicts some information.
yeah. Also, like
Unless there's an explanation in Neo.
yeah, and then also like thus possessed humans often exhibit a rush of euphoria immediately after the noise is removed. I'm like, I don't understand what that has to do with like
Doesn't really have to do
soul.
with the sentence prior, but I mean we do see it. So I mean it is a true statement.
Yeah, but we do see in the game as well. People get weird when you erase the noise, but like
Mhm.
Yeah, like that one's just also weird because I don't know what that's to do with the prior statement, and yet
I
it
mean,
has thus.
I mean, it's more of that soul consumed by noise is destroyed, even if the noise is erased, is a really weird statement and seems very out of place considering the phrase before it and then that phrase itself.
Yeah.
Those two connect better if you remove that one phrase in the middle.
Yeah. But let's move on to day 7. Yeah, take it away.
All right.
Also, stop the leg tapping.
Sorry. As the composer predicted, the proxy has won the game. So what happens to those who survive the week? Those whose imagination is less than outstanding are broken down into soul, while those with excellent imagination become reapers. The most talented of these may travel to the next plane inhabited by us, angels. Diligent reapers, too, may pass through the office of composer to ascend to the plane of angels. Now, a what if? This may sound odd, but one may also choose to be reincarnated. Well, the word reincarnation is not quite accurate, for the humans of the UG are not truly dead. They merely possess different soul code and have been tuned into a different plane. We angels do not consider it a loss if a talented player elects to return to the real ground, as their superior imagination will inspire other humans. Upon returning to life, the exceptional player's creative activities soon make their mark upon society. His art, music, and other output become a part of culture, spreading and persisting through time, refining people's imaginations even without personal contact with the player. Certainly, this requires time, but no one has ever accused angels of being in a hurry. The composer's absence during this particular game, however, means that reincarnation is not an option. Only the composer possesses the level of imagination necessary to reincarnate. It is beyond the conductor's means. The conductor continues to act as if the composer were present, but this farce can only continue for so long. I will be watching with great curiosity to see how the conductor responds once his ruse unravels. As I was busy writing reports, the boy in my custody, Beat, went missing. Beat had expressed curiosity in how noise was created. Perhaps he plans to ask a Reaper, but even without specific instruction from them, he has the ability now. I gave him a pin filled with the special imagination required to create noise and imprinted him with instructions for its use. This does not qualify as interference in the game. The information I gave him will have no impact on the game's results. It was merely a token of my esteem for his unflinching passion towards what he holds dear. Whether he uses this power and how is completely up to him.
So, this was not done by the composer, the one person rule.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
even then, I think really his excuse to get rid of Shiki was pretty much because, oh yeah, I can reincarnate people, so this was my problem for me.
Yeah, no, that actually 100% is the reason why. It is literally he doesn't know what to do. He can't reincarnate people, and he has 2 people standing in the game. It was 3 people standing in front of him saying, "We want reincarnation." Beat then says, "Actually, I don't want to be reincarnated. I want to join the Reapers," because he wants to summon.
I do think B eventually reaches the white room in the anime as well. It's just he's separated from Neku and Shiki, but yeah.
Yeah, in the game he's there first.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so like he pieces out and becomes a Reaper pretty quickly because his goal is to bring back Rhyme. And so he has 2 people being like, "We want reincarnation," and he's like, "I'm playing a game with the composer. The composer's not here to reincarnate. One of these 2 people is probably his proxy. I don't know which one."
Well, and he's probably thinking, well, shoot, I'm all out of luck.
Yeah. So he's like, "Yeah, Shiki, don't worry, we'll reincarnate you. Neku, Shiki is the most important thing to you, so she's your entry fee."
Well, he's more of like, hey, Neku, do you want to play a second game? Go on, please say you want to play a second game. Say you want to play a second game right now, or else I am going to have to kill both of you right now.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Actually, it didn't matter.
That's just a bit of over exaggeration, but
actually, it wouldn't really matter because here's what would happen. Neku says, "No, I don't think I will play your game again." Then Neku gets erased. Then the conductor's plan goes through. He changes Shibuya for what the composer thinks is the better. The composer stays his hand and brings back Shiki under the conductor's new Shibuya. Or Neku says, yeah, I'll become a Reaper, so I don't have to do that crap again. And then Neku just helps enact the conductor's plan and changes Shibuya, and Shiki then comes back. So
Yeah, I don't know.
so not much really changes there.
Mm-hmm.
Like to him, there was not really a loose scenario in that situation. He just got extremely lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah. My question is too, because it said that he doesn't even know who the proxy is. It is not till the end of the game that he figures out that Neku was the proxy the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So how did he know to choose Shiki as the entry fee person?
I don't know. Was like, yeah. And this would have to be a pretty big assumption that like this was not like, yeah, I don't know. This would have to be her first time as well. So yeah, I don't know. Really, I don't know. He just got really lucky.
Yeah, or unlucky because he kept the proxy.
Well, yeah, we're he got lucky in the situation that he was put into.
Yeah,
but really, it's all that leads to his downfall. So I mean,
yeah. Well, and that's the thing too. It's like he definitely has suspicions that it is Neku, especially during the second week. But like this still feels too early on for him to really have a solid grasp on who the proxy is.
Yeah.
So he was taking a 50-50 shot. He just lost that draw.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there was that. The players aren't truly dead, even though we see Josh shooting. Like, if the players aren't really dead, did Josh have to shoot Neku? Couldn't he just like soul form him?
I think it might just be easier to kill them, probably. Let's just put it that way.
Well, we do also know that Josh took some extra memories, not just the memories in the entry fee.
True.
And when Kitaniji returns those after the first week, he even says, I return to you your entry fee in its entirety. Anything else that is missing was never there to begin with. Which is true. By the time Kitaniji got to take the entry fee, that memory was already stolen.
Yeah. Maybe it's just because Joshua wanted to steal that stuff in particular.
Yeah. No, he definitely did, because he knew he was going to work with the proxy, and he couldn't have the proxy recognizing, like, you are the guy that did kill me.
Yeah.
So my best guess is the reason why Josh had to kill Neku was that if he had just soul formed him into the game, that makes it pretty obvious, hey, there's an extra player that we did not see at the beginning of this week. Versus, I'm going to shoot this guy so he dies, enters the game the way every other player enters the game. But taking that one memory.
And also giving him an extra pin.
Yeah. Giving him an extra pin that he'll take with. And just take that one memory away and just have him look as if he's a normal player. No one will know about the extra pin that I gave him. He won't even know what it's for. So my guess is Josh was really just thinking ahead of, like, how do I play this right as to put in a proxy that won't get found out immediately.
Exactly.
Yeah, we see once again people with good imagination becoming angels or reapers. But then also, I think actually 4 and 7 go really well together. Not gonna lie. Like, read the secret reports back to back. Yeah. Because you find out what soul is and how it's transformed, but then you're like, well, if the proper path is for them to become reapers and they choose to become reincarnated, like, isn't that a bad thing? When they want the best people? No, it doesn't matter, because once they turn to life, they will, like, because they have such high imagination, they'll help.
It'll be good for society as well.
Yeah. they'll help create a better society and increase the imagination of everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think there's another secret report that we'll get to more when we talk about Cat. I don't remember which day exactly it is, where he even says, my art that I make, my art, my music, my other output, that is all coded with my own imagination for express purposes. They're not just random things. They are meant for the betterment of society.
Mm-hmm. Which makes me question. I mean, I know it's only been like 3 years, but I wonder if we'll see like those effects that the main cast have had in the 4 years. I mean,
Well,
we
we
kind
definitely
of
know
are.
Garonero.
Yeah, I feel like that's Shiki's, but I'm curious more about like Beat and Neku.
Well, Neku's not been in the OG. New Game Plus took, well, not New Game Plus, geez. New Day only took place like a few months after the main game. Less than
I
a
mean,
year.
sure, but I mean, I don't know. Because New Day seemed kind of finicky, is all.
Yeah. I think it's supposed to be that a New Day took place like just a few months after. And they even said
Mm-hmm.
like the Angels aren't in a hurry. We don't need them like right now. Um, so my guess is Neku probably didn't have that big of an impact because he just didn't
I
have
mean,
time.
yeah, he just hasn't had time yet.
Yeah. And he hasn't been there for the past 3 years, so
But Beat
not much.
has.
Beat has, and we just learned spoilers for like not the end of week 2, but like close to the end of week 2 of Neo: The World Ends with
Like
You.
day 6.
Yeah, like day 6, maybe day 5. Um,
Yeah.
Beat was in college.
Mm-hmm.
Woo! Beat's in college.
Or at least finishing up high school potentially.
Yeah. No, I think they said he was the same age as Nagi.
I think he's like 1 year younger, at least I believe, because he's like the same age as Neko, and that would only put him at like 18 compared to Naki's 19.
Maybe. I don't know. I thought they said that they was same class as Nagi. Maybe
I mean,
not.
you could probably pull up Pete's page.
Nope.
That's probably safe.
Nope.
It is if you just look at the top thing. It
Nope.
shows the ages.
Nope. Not doing it. You can't make me.
Okay, if you aren't, I will.
Spoilers.
Dude, it's not really a spoiler if I'm not going past their what is it? Their like the just freaking intro thing.
Anyways,
Yeah, he's only 18 in Neo.
how old is Nagi again?
I am checking that right now. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, she's 1 year older, 19.
Oh, because
I'm pretty sure I remember that correctly.
Oh, well. Yeah. I knew he was 18. I just,
age.
yeah.
They're about the same age, which is probably why they get along so well.
Yeah, I did not realize that I needed Nagi and Beat to be good friends.
Honestly, it's a weird friendship when Nagi really does not like Fred.
Yeah, like she hates Fred, but she's cool with Beat. And Beat's just like, yo, Penny, what's up? I love it.
I love it too. I also love Beat Buddy, but
Yeah. Like Fred was one where I'm like, it was immediate, and we were both like, okay, they're gonna get along real well. And then they just right off the bat. But
yeah.
Nagi was one who was like, I didn't know I need this, but this is awesome.
Yeah. I just also find it funny that Fred constantly is like, hey, Beat's like practically me, so why are you getting along with me?
Yeah. Gotta love Nagi.
Honestly, I'm surprised with how well Beat gets along with the entire party. Like even Rindo.
Yeah. Man, what's the thing about? I don't know. We can talk about that later, I guess. But
Yeah.
no, he gets along well with everyone. It's fun. I love what
Yeah,
I love what
although
they do with Beat.
I guess that is very much Beat's character. Like hot-headed, but like he gets along with people if like, you're friendly to him.
Yeah. what I love too is like you look at it and it's like they did such a great job of, yeah, that is still Beat, that is the Beat I remember, but also it's like he's grown up quite a bit, and now
Hmm.
he's like, he is still kind of hot headed, but he's not going to get people in trouble.
Hmm.
Like he's there to like kind of watch over and protect them. I love that side of Beat.
Yeah, he definitely is very like older brother, like,
Yeah,
which makes sense because he is one.
yeah, but like even in the original game, like he was hot headed and like didn't think things through,
Hmm.
and he would just get everyone in trouble, including getting his sister killed. Whereas now he's like, no, let me think about this for a little bit.
Yeah, even
Like,
if it isn't quite right, let me just give a second of thought.
yeah, it's like, yeah, he's still like quick to get into fights, but he's not willing to just fight everything. Like,
Yeah,
he's
I
like,
mean, other
okay,
than if you keep calling him Neku.
yeah, but like he's just like, am I okay? Is this a fight that I think I could actually win? Yes. Okay, let's do this.
Which beat pretty much is like, yeah, I can win like about any fight here, but that's besides the point.
Yeah. Well, he's going
But
up against
yeah,
other players, and he did
true.
fight with the legendary player.
Yeah, they fought up against worse.
Yeah. So he's justifying his confidence.
True. I wasn't saying it was false confidence. I just find it funny.
Yeah. No, it's kind of entertaining.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, if you want to see more of our thoughts, check out the live channel where we are going through
Currently on
it.
day 4 of week 1.
We'll hopefully we'll get more out. Just videos take a while to render, those long ones. But anyways, but
By the way, I am struggling to find day 5.
fun.
Yeah. It should be on my hard drive. Should be on my hard drive.
I mean, honestly though, is day five really needed?
That was the pig day, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Honestly, that might be a godsend.
Yeah, I'm like, is this really just a blessing in disguise?
But we keep referencing the pig day. I think people need to know what our pain was.
True. Anyways, but yeah, I think that's about it for this, though, right?
Yeah, should be it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else I had. Beat got special instructions from Honeycomb, but he still went to join the Reapers, even though I guess he says he didn't need to. But also, Beat is kind of an idiot, so it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that one isn't inconsistent. It's, yeah, Beat might have been told what to do, but he's still Beat. He's still an idiot.
Yeah. I'm like, B may hear things, but sometimes still go with the completely opposite option.
Yeah. Then also, I don't know if he would have been able to do it if he had chosen reincarnation. So I'm
Yeah.
like, let's say he could stay as, like, could have summoned it without having become a Reaper. His options were become a player again, risk dying again,
Hmm.
um, and just
Which would be very
only,
counterintuitive.
yeah, he could choose to for reincarnation, where he most likely would no longer have the pin or the ability to summon Rhyme, which is not what he wants, or become a Reaper, where all he has to do is just be, and he can summon Rhyme.
Hmm. Yeah.
Like there's little cost on the Reaper side. So
Yeah. But it turned out to be a more beneficial choice in the long run.
yeah, I don't think even the composer saw that one coming.
Yeah.
But
Yep. But anyways, I think that about covers it then.
yeah, should.
Yeah.
Think what else do we have?
Just the outro.
Um, yeah, thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Go check out our gaming channel where we are slowly but surely making our way through Neo: The Warden's Review.
I
We've
mean, we have a
recorded,
lot.
yeah,
Just
we've recorded up till day 6 of week 2. So we're currently on day 7. We just haven't recorded that one yet.
yeah, and getting out the videos is kind of a hassle.
Yeah. It like destroys my computer every time I have to render one. And for some reason, it won't let me just upload directly to.
Yeah, yeah. But we're trying to get it out in a timely manner, but please forgive us as they take a while to upload.
Actually, I think I have an idea that just came to me, but that's for off camera
Yep,
or
we'll
off
discuss
mic.
that later. Mhm. All
Anyways,
right.
see ya.
See ya.